Welcome to the DraftKings defense analysis for Week 13. I'm Jason Gilba, J Gilba 11. With me is Russell Clay at Russell J Clay. You took a look at cash game and GPP defenses this week, and overall, I think you got a pretty wide range of pricing options on a week where we might kind of look to dive down a little bit just because there are some big games.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, when you're just sitting there and your nose itches, what are you gonna do but pick it, you know what I'm saying?
Well, is it a pick or is it a scratch?
No, it's a pick. You gotta get in there. You gotta do what you
Yeah,
gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
I guess that's not necessarily an itch.
I threw out a tweet today, but it had a spelling error, so I deleted it. But I do
What?
have
That does not shock me whatsoever.
no, if true story, if you look at a Russell Clay tweet, there will always be a spelling or grammatical error in there. You just have to look hard enough and you will find it. But I have to say, it was a great point by me. I was in Stop and Shop today.
Eating
Saw
sushi?
Fig Newtons. What a terrible time it must have been when like people looked forward to eating Fig Newtons. Like they were excited to eat Fig Newtons.
I disagree.
That like some dude's hard at work during the day and he's just dreaming about like 5 o'clock when he gets to get home, has like a nice warm glass of milk and like Fig Newtons, and then he gets to go to bed. That's
Fig
like
Newtons are delicious.
when Fig Newtons are your only option.
But
You know
you're
what I'm
in a
saying?
store of you have
But
the Keebler Elf, you have
I'm
Chips
saying
Ahoy, you have Fig Newtons.
in the 1950s, Fig
I'm
Newtons, and
pretty
where
sure
there's
there are other
you you
options.
go into a shopping mart and your choices are where there's originals, Fig Newtons. That's all you got.
I'm pretty sure there were way more options.
I don't think so. And like, you know, those like candy paper things with like the candy and you eat them and you get paper in your mouth.
Oh, the paper buttons, candy
Yeah.
buttons, yeah.
Trash, dude. Imagine like being excited for that. Like
Yeah,
that's your day. Like you're
that would be
excited
sad.
for that. What a sad time.
It is. But you know
You know what
what?
I'm
Let's get
saying?
excited for some defenses. Let's
All right.
enough candy and Fig Newton talk.
Hmm.
Denver Broncos here. You look at him, I mean, obviously going up against Blake Bortles.
Yeah, 3,900, obviously going to have some decent ownership, but you just kind of look at the way Blake Bortles' season has gone. And I mean, I just see a pick. I'm having a premonition. I'm seeing screen pass to TJ Yeldon. TJ Yeldon, it hits off his chest. Julius Thomas is going to dive for it. Oh, he throws it up in the air, pick six. Oh my God. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it was like, I think that was a premonition. So, I mean, there's never been a higher chance of a pick six than Blake Bortles versus the Broncos defense. There just isn't a higher chance.
I definitely agree with that. Yes, that take is correct. Already, it's correct. It's Tuesday, and that take's already correct because it's probably already happened.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I had a premonition, but I've never seen like a quarterback throw an interception off his player's foot before. Never mind 2 in 1 season. Like that's already happened twice this year.
So maybe Bortles is so good that he can place the ball wherever he wants twice in a row and throw interceptions.
Maybe. So either way, that one's pretty straightforward. Ravens, the next one here in cash games, really asserting themselves as a borderline dominant defense. I mean, their secondary still isn't perfect, but their front seven really strong against the run. I don't know what Miami's going to do with their offensive linemen. I don't know who's going to be playing. Obviously, keep track of that. That was obviously a bigger impact against San Francisco than I thought. So you kind of look at this Ravens team. They've been really consistent in terms of high floor for points this year. Only 3K against Miami. Ryan Tannehill, nothing to ride home about. Devontae Parker is a problem, though. He's really good. So I think that's something to take into account. But overall, I don't think Devontae Parker is going to be enough to over override the mismatch here.
And Baltimore never really quite seems to be priced as they should.
No.
I mean, that's one thing. I mean, they're just 3K.
Yeah.
So, GPP defenses, you're looking at Chicago 3,300, taking on San
Yeah.
Francisco.
I'm not buying this. Everyone's on Colin Kaepernick. Get out of here. Get out of here. Bears at home. Been a pretty good D this year. Run defense been pretty good. Vance McDonald's banged up. Jeremy Curley, Quentin Patton. Sure. If Jeremy Curley and Quentin Patton beat me, then I deserve to lose. So that's how I'm looking at it. And I'll take the risk with the Bears. They've been playing good this year on defense, even with all the injuries. So I'm not afraid of San Francisco.
You are boldly confident.
I watched Braveheart last night, so um, you know, I'm feeling pretty confident about this take.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Next one here, you're looking at Green Bay, 2,900. Obviously, Brock Osweiler has to be your main kind of focal point on targeting against them.
Packers showed some life on defense last night. And it was from the front seven. Secondary still horrific. But is Brock Osweiler a guy that can take advantage of that secondary? I think it's a decent bet to say no. In Lambeau, I think you can fire away with this, get super low ownership, and I can't envision Brock Osweiler doing anything other than being horrible in this game. Lamar Miller gonna have a tough time against that run D. you know, DeAndre Hopkins this is a problem for him. He's gonna start complaining if he hasn't already. I mean, I think Tom Savage is their backup quarterback. I don't know that they can bench him with all the money they gave him, but this is getting to be a point where he's so underselling what this offense is right now. It's so bad. So I really don't think Houston has much upside in the passing game, no matter who they're playing. So with that considered, I mean, I might play CJ Fedorowicz, but I don't like the Houston offense right now.
I think we saw basically that go out the window when they played Detroit and failed to do anything.
Yeah,
I think that
really
was
bizarre.
it. I was like, that's it. That's the nail in the coffin for me. I'm never playing anyone on Houston other than CJ Fedorowicz just because he's so cheap.
Yeah, and Lamar Miller is fine every once in a while, but not in this matchup.
Yeah, and the way you said that just describes it perfectly. Just so he's fine every once in a while.
He's putting together some nice volume this year. Like his season ending stats are going to look good. It's been a struggle, and things could be going a lot better if they didn't have Brock Osweiler as their starting quarterback.
I know. If we only just had Brian Hoyer still
No
there.
kidding, though. Brian Hoyer, this team would be, doing better.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Your last pick here, Kansas City, going on the road against Atlanta. Bowl call here, but I mean, Chiefs defense has the upside.
I'm using the cafe value. I latched onto them. I'm taking them for a ride this week. So cafe value is really high on the Chiefs defense. Certainly willing to fire away with that against Atlanta. I think Justin Houston being back is a really good thing for this Chiefs defense that already was causing tons of chaos. Matt Ryan under pressure historically has been a really, really bad quarterback. It's when he gets time and he can decipher what's going on and doesn't have any pressure on him is when he really slices and dices. So I think this is an interesting way to go, especially if D Ford's back this week. There's some major sack upside. I am worried about the running game. I think that's where things could get really ugly, or like the Taylor Gabriel, Tevin Coleman dump offs, kind of like last week. Matt Ryan didn't play well last week. He just had those two dump offs to Taylor Gabriel that bailed him out. So I think, that's obviously a worry, but I also think the upside's high enough to where you can, fire away.
And I think one thing to say is, I mean, even if they give 21 and 24 points, they have enough like in their arsenal to get fumbles, to get interceptions, to get sacks, to bail them out a little bit, you know?
And if they get 8 points at 2,800, you're taking that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the Saints last week. I mean, they didn't play good defense, but they still got
Mhm.
you 7, 8 points, I think it was. So, you know,
No
they
doubt.
may not have to play great defense, but in terms of fantasy production, it certainly can be there.
That's what she said.
But sure, sure. Any parting words for week 13? Doesn't have to be about defenses.
Well, again, back to our initial conversation. I think it's really important to be thankful for our generation and the opportunities we have. Because imagine, where there's originals being like a go-to candy would be absolutely horrific.
Well, you know what? I'm a fan of the old time candy stores. I like Necco wafers. I like the chocolate.
Oh,
Smarties are one of the best candies in the world.
I'm sure you love black licorice too, don't you?
You know what? When I was younger, I didn't, but then once I started drinking Jaeger, I did. You start to develop a taste for it as you get older. That I didn't have that when I was a kid though, because I was throwing up black jelly beans whenever someone gave me them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. That's what I do kind of about when I look at your picks sometimes.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Me too.
you're the black licorice of DFS picks.
Oh, wow. That's so way past my prime and ready to put out the pasture.
So I'm gonna end it on that comment right there. If you want to check out Russ's article for week 13, you can head on over to dailyfantasycafe.com. Be sure to check out the rest of our week 13 content.